Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Good evening racing fans and welcome to NXTGEN Racing live on YouTube and live on Facebook. You join us for the GT3 Season 8 on Thursday night here at NXTGEN Racing. and some fantastic racing awaiting us here at the Thruxton Circuit in Hampshire in the United Kingdom. It's the first of 2 visits to the United Kingdom to a circuit that really isn't traditionally a GT3 circuit. So this could be either absolutely amazing or it could be a lead balloon moment. Let's find out tonight, though. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely brilliant, though, trusting in the drivers to deliver on that one tonight. We've got plenty of racing on offer for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. A 60-minute feature race coming up later on in the night, and we've got a 20 minutes qualifying session preceded by a 20-minute sprint race coming up at 20 past the hour. But first, a little bit about Next Gen Racing and this series. This is the GT3s, as we mentioned, on Thursday nights here at NXTGEN Racing, live on YouTube and live on Facebook. Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. Please do give the channel a like or follow or subscribe, depending on where you're watching from. And please do give us a comment if you are watching as well. A big shout out should go to the partners, sponsors and affiliates of Next Gen Racing that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Doble Motorcycles. And if you do want to get involved in Next Gen Racing as a driver or as a fan, you can get involved indeed. If you scan the QR code just to the off centre of our screen there, that will give you access to Next Gen Racing's Discord server. From there you'll meet the drivers, meet the admins and just get involved in the community. You'll see all the announcements that Next Gen Racing have with upcoming leagues, including the recent announcement of Season 10 of the NXTGEN on Tuesdays, probably the premium Next Gen League that's been on offer for, well, I'd say about half a decade now. Much longevity to that league like there is with this one, but that's just been announced. So scan the QR code or click the link in the description of this video to our Discord server and you'll see those announcements among many others. So a little bit about this series then. There are 2 different formats of racing in this series. There are the format that we are racing tonight, which is the qualifying sprint race and feature race formats. And there's also 3 endurance rounds this season, one of them of which is coming up next week. But the format for tonight is a 20-minute qualifying session, followed by a 20-minute sprint race and a 60-minute feature race to end the night. And the endurance round, of which one is next week, as we mentioned, is a singular 2-hour endurance race. So plenty on offer, plenty of strategies here. You've got to be good on the sprint races, you've got to be good in the singular pit stop races, similar to that of Formula 1 races, but you've also got to be very adept to the GT3, traditional GT3 style of racing that is endurance racing on the sporadic rounds we have this season. And there's also multiple classes or categories, as some like to call it, gold and silver and bronze. And basically what that allows is skills of all drivers, or all skilled drivers, to get involved in this series and fight for wins and fight for championships. Gold category typically comprises of the top third of the field, the middle third going into the silver category, and the lesser experienced drivers will typically go into the bronze category. Depending on your ability on iRacing, you'll go into one of those 3 categories. Either way, you should be fighting for wins. And you can still get involved in this series if you wish to. The pricing in the top right may change part way through the series, but if you join the Discord server, you'll be able to ask the admins about that. And myself, I am Alex Everett, your commentator for this series, and tonight, on behalf of Crest Autosport and Next Gen Racing. So let's find out where we have been racing this season, and where we will be racing in the future. So we started off all them weeks ago, 2 months ago nearly, at the Fuji International Circuit in Japan. Then we were in Europe for round 2 of the championship at the Red Bull Ring. Then Spa-Francorchamps hosted round 3 of the championship, the first of 3 endurance rounds of the championship, of which those are labelled with the blue text and the star to the right of them. Imola was last week, and that hosted round 4 of the championship, and this week is the taboo round, I would say. Thruxton Circuit hosts tonight, which is not traditionally a GT3 circuit, so we'll see how we get on tonight. That'll see us out of the first half of the season upon completion of tonight, and then we're off to Daytona in Florida next week for the second of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. That'll be hosted at Daytona Road Course, where of course the 24 hours of Daytona is hosted, so a very apt host for an endurance round for us. We'll stay in the States for round 7 of the championship after a week off. That'll be at Laguna Seca on the other side of the country in the California state. Then we're back in the UK for round 8 of the championship for the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit for the second of 2 visits to the UK. The first being today here at Thruxton. And then round 9 of the championship will be hosted at Nürburgring, but the Grand Prix layout of the very famous circuit. And then another very famous circuit will host round 10 of the championship. It will end at Sebring International for a 2-hour endurance to end the season and to crown our champions. The 3 champions being gold driver champion, silver driver champion, and bronze driver champion, and of course the winning team in the championship. And these are the cars we're racing this season. Plenty to choose from, including the brand new Aston Martin Vantage. That is particularly favoured by some of the drivers in the field, although not many of them have switched over to the Aston Martin, because if you switch over to a different car midway or part way through the season, it will incur a 50-point penalty, which some have opted to go for, in the risk that it will risk, I suppose, their championship chances, but some have gone for it because it is a beautiful sounding car, and I'm sure a beautiful performing car. But that's one of the cars on offer in this championship. Other cars include the traditional GT3 machinery on iRacing, the Acura NSX, the Audi R8 LMS, the BMW M4, the Chevrolet Corvette Z06, the Ferrari 296, the Ford Mustang, probably one of the more popular cars in the field, the Lamborghini Huracan, the McLaren 720S, the Mercedes AMG, and the Porsche 911. So there we go. And we're here tonight at Thruxton Circuit. As we mentioned, we're in Hampshire in the UK. The fastest circuit in the UK, it is labelled. And originally, it was a wartime airfield. It played a major role in the D-Day landings in the Great War back in the day. So holds great history, does this track. Plays its part in history outside of motorsport and in motorsports. Very much a traditional track in the BTCC calendar, and I believe it makes an appearance in the British GT Championship. But this circuit is a 2.37 mile circuit, 12 turns or 14 if you're counting by finger. I count 14, 9 corners to the right and 3 to the left. So we'll see how tonight goes. It's going to be the shortest lap on the calendar in terms of time, and if we join our racers trackside, 1 minute 5 or 1 minute 6 for a lot of the drivers out there tends to be the lap time here at Thruxton, which will make it the shortest duration lap and probably the shortest lap length as well in terms of mileage. A very fast circuit in its own right as well. So we'll get into the championship standings next, and this is the situation as we head into the 5th round of 10. So at the top of the championship is Dominik Pester on 160 points and a very healthy lead over Stefan Wessels, and there's drama as we head into tonight. Dominik Pester will have to serve a back of grid start, so basically a qualifying ban for the first race tonight, which means it will put him to the back of the grid for the opening sprint race. It might favour him for the feature race later on, but we'll have to see. But Dominik Pester has that hanging over his shoulders tonight. But as it's just been established that very, very recently, Stefan Wessels second in the championship heading into tonight. He did have a bad round for the opening round at Fuji, where he had 2 accidents, both on lap 1, turn 1. He will have to miss tonight. He's having steering wheel issues. He's one of the wires on his steering wheel is shorting, which is a very dangerous issue. So he won't be racing tonight, which is a huge shame, but probably a big sigh of relief to Dominik Pester. So the defending champion in a spot of trouble, but we'll see. We'll see as we get later on in the season. Luck may change, and well, performances may alter things. We'll see. So it's a big shame we're missing out on Stefan Wessels tonight. But Benjamin McCluskey, former champion in this series, is 3rd in the championship heading into tonight, with Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent, in 4th place, just ahead of his teammate, who was one of the biggest scorers last time out at Imola, at a very impressive round for Harry Langford. 5th position for him in the championship. Brandon Schmidt is 6th position, as Lucas Seedor is in 7th. Gaz Williams, the host of this series, is in 8th. 9th place is the host of the NXTCC here at NXTGEN Racing, Jamie Dory, in 9th. And Carl Griffiths, the winner of the feature race last time out at Imola, is 10th in the championship heading into tonight. Silver category, Brandon Vincent-Squibb had a very good round last time out at Imola, was the highest scorer of the category, and he extends his championship lead over Alan McCain in second position. So Brandon Vincent-Squibb in fine form heading into this part of the season, the mid part of the season. Alan McCain, as we mentioned, in second place. He did not have such a good round last time out at Imola. Neither did his teammate, who still ends up in third in the championship heading into tonight. So Alan McCain and Nigel Stock, both of Crest Motorsport Porsche team, will be hoping for better fortunes this time around. Jason Raff in fourth position. He's a race winner this season, but not such a good round at Imola. He'll be looking to get back that third place and get ahead of Nigel Stock tonight. Stephen Fry in fifth place. A good round for him at Imola last time. And Matthias Smolny, who missed last time at Imola but has a lot of points in his favour in the rounds he has attended this season, is sixth. Phil McDougall, race winner this season at Red Bull Ring a few rounds ago, is in seventh, with Matthew Addy in 8th position, Wesley Lewin in 9th, and Wojciech Kerp, who was fighting for the lead in the feature race for the majority of the last round, is in 10th. Bronze category, still leading the championship is Oliver Forsström, but after a triumphant round at Spa a few weeks ago, Imola did not quite go his way. He lost a few points to his rivals, but he still leads the championship by 20 points from Sami Araba, who had a better round last time out at Imola, and a very good round for Rob Savage, who gets his first win not only of the season, but in next-gen racing in general. In the bronze category, he moves up to third place, therefore, and Stein Vaten's fourth position for him, with Zara McGuinness. Not such a good round for her in Imola, but looking pretty good in the lap times today here at Thruxton. So fifth place for Zara heading into tonight. Stephen de Gravelia, sixth position in the championship heading into tonight. Elwyn Sykes, former champion of bronze category, is seventh. Davide Fardo in eighth. Mr. Next Gen himself, Mark Sykes, is in ninth position, and Matt Gatter in 10th. And the team's championship, it's Quatermass Motorsport leading the way. They had a very good haul of points last time out at Imola, and they're rewarded with the championship lead heading into tonight by some 17 points over Sorrento Motorsports, who have a strong lineup in Carl Griffiths and Dominik Pester, each winning gold category races last time out at Imola. And Lucas Seedor as well, helping bolster up the points for their team. CSA Team Woza in third position, with Missionar in fourth, and Missionar powered by Mords in fifth position. So that's the championship situation heading into tonight. And I think a few shout-outs need to go out to a few drivers tonight, because the NXTCC has just ended over on Tuesday nights at Next Gen Racing, and 3 champions from that series, although there are 6 championships to fight for in that championship, 3 of which are racing in this series. So they really do deserve a shout-out tonight for a long endurance season. Nigel Stock being one of them, the AM category champion in the blue lobby. We also have Matthew Cheverton. Is he in the server tonight? He is. I think he's just joined the server, actually. But Matthew Cheverton out on the track now. He was the pro category champion in the blue lobby. So big congratulations to him. And also Ben Outre, who's in the pits at the moment. But Ben Outre in the orange lobby is the pro-am champion of NXTCC. It's a long season, 30 races in total in that series. But those are the champions that are also racing in this championship. So a big congratulations to them on their triumphant year. And of course, Season 10 is recently announced at Next Gen Racing. If you join our Discord server, which is linked in the description, you can take a look at those announcements and get involved in the series ongoing. Okay, so a bit of a sit rep on practice as we're in the final minute of practice now. We'll be heading into qualifying in just over a minute. It's Harry Langford at the top of the gold standings. So, repeating the form that he had last time at Imola, he was very quick in practice and qualifying last time out at Imola. Harry Langford got pole position at Imola last week. And in the silver category, it's currently fastest in category at the moment for new driver to the series, Bartosz Mikoda. Polish driver doing very, very well in the silver category on his debut there, so look out for him in qualifying. And in the bronze category, the driver with which we're watching, Dirk Wagner, who moved down from silver category to bronze category in between rounds 3 and 4, so gets his bronze championship bid off to a very good second start here in practice right now. So let's see how qualifying gets on. They're going to rely on slipstream. They're going to rely on clean laps because it's a very, very flat out track. I believe more than 80% of this lap is foot to the floor. You can see on grippy tyres going through Church Corner here at this circuit. Now we will do an onboard lap here, but going through Church Corner on this track is indeed possible. So here we go, qualifying. We're into now. And as the drivers will head out onto the track. So look at this, the 3 next-gen drivers sticking together here. I imagine the Mission R drivers will stick together as well, among many other teams. Quatermass as well, Crest Autosport presumably might stick together because it is a track that really favours slipstream, particularly as the track is so short as well. You need everything you can get from this lap. Every little bit of time comes from the fastest parts and flat out parts of the track, so you really want to rely on your teammate and work together with your teammates. Those that are privateers or solo drivers, they have to latch onto a group pretty much. Hello to our chatters on YouTube. A lot of them are drivers. Kurt Van Honecker, not driving today, on holiday in Italy. Enjoy your holiday, Kurt. Phil McDougall, Elwyn Sykes and Mark Sykes. And I presume they're not listening right now as they're busy driving. But thank you very much for joining us anyway. Right, okay, so normally we get the championship leader to ride on board with in these qualifying sessions, but we don't have a championship leader out on the track because he's serving a qualifying ban. So we'll do it with, well, as close as we can get. We'll go with the fastest in practice. And that is Harry Langford. Harry Langford heads through the final few corners there, and now as we head onto the start-finish curve, we'll head into Allard Corner. First corner, flat out. Oh, not quite. Actually had to back off there as the car understeered straight onto the grass there. Might get a 1X, but we'll stay with Langford anyway. Into Campbell. Taking plenty of the curb on the inside. Oh, and the car getting really out of shape. The tyre's probably not warm yet. Left through Cobb, right through Seagrave. And really feathering the throttle in and out of these corners. Now we'll head out to Noble Corner. Left-hander. Double apex. Through Goodwood. Back marker getting out of the way there. And now we'll approach Village and Church Corner. Oh, a bit of grass there. Probably not the most exemplar of laps, actually. But the tyres are cold. There's a lot of drivers actually pulling over here because I think the tyres really are struggling to warm up here. But we'll head through the Club Chicane next, which is the final complex of the track. And there really isn't that much to talk about on this track because it is as close to an oval as you can probably get here in the UK. With the exception of maybe your old Rockingham tracks, which was in Corby, not too far from me actually. I live probably about halfway between Silverstone and Rockingham, but Rockingham is not really in use nowadays, which is a big shame. It was a rather entertaining track in its day. So a couple of drivers with valid laps, but I don't think they're representative of the pace we're going to get. We have seen 1 minute 5, as we mentioned early on in this broadcast. We have seen them, so a lot of drivers still warming up. Ben McCluskey on a pretty good lap here, best of the bunch. And following Gaz Williams. And this chicane here, Club Chicane, is going to be a big, big struggle. I've seen a lot of drivers actually cut a lot of the chicane there, which happens a lot in many series. Down to the 1 minute 6.4, still time to be had, but Ben McCluskey with a pretty good lap there. Gaz Williams leading the way physically, I would say, for them. And let's switch over to bronze category. Zara McGuinness, who was very quick in practice, is top of the times in bronze at the moment. Phil McDougall goes top of the silver category. But Langford, straight up to the top. Might be expected in this practice session, was looking very, very quick in qualifying, excuse me. But actually, the Mustang is rather feared now across the grid in the sense that it is a superiorly fast car compared to the rest at the moment. And actually, I've just clocked something. I've just clocked that Jamie Dory has switched over to a different car. He swapped from the Audi to the Corvette. So, sticking with the unpopular cars, the Corvette is a very, very good sounding car, actually. But is it quick? We'll have to find out. But Jamie Dory will incur a 50-point penalty for that. Oh, and the rear swaps ends. That Corvette, he won't like it right now. He just completely swapped ends at Allard there, probably tapping the brakes there, just switches it round. Brandon Vincent-Squibb with a very good lap there in the silver category. Now we will switch over eventually to overall times because it is the overall positions of qualifying here that will decide the grid for the sprint race. And the reason it's like that is because, well, you can't split into, I'm going to say, privately organised categories, which we have here in the NXTGEN GT3 series. We don't have manual grids for races that immediately follow qualifying, so they will start overall here. But that makes things interesting. It means we've got 3 very different grid formats for each of the racing formats that we have in this series, and the sprint races formed by the overall qualifying grid, whereas the feature race is based on the results of the sprint races, but each category is grouped and they're reversed based on their results in the previous sprint race, and the feature race is based on the category championship standings, grouped and reversed. I'm sure you'll start, if you don't understand that, you'll follow it once you start seeing and watching the series if you are new. Ben McCluskey to the top of the standings in gold category, but only by 20 thousandths of a second, which really is nothing. William Guthrie, who was on his debut, or should we say return actually, to the series last time out at Imola. Sprint race went pretty well, but the feature race did not go so well, was very much fighting back through the pack. We'll see how Guthrie gets on tonight. Dirk Wagner looking quick in the bronze category, and it is quick to the top of the standings by 60 thousandths of a second. But the one that was quickest in practice is quickest in qualifying so far in the bronze category. Jeffrey Kruger, who was quick in qualifying and sprint race last time out at Imola, looking quick in this silver qualifying session here at Thruxton. But 4/10 of a second off top spot. Brandon Vincent-Squibb kind of on home turf today from Scotland, and this track is probably about 10-hour drive from Scotland. He's first in silver category at the moment, and in the bronze category, taken away provisional pole at the moment is Robert Savage. Robert Savage won his first ever bronze category race in NXTGEN Racing last time out at Imola, and is looking strong in qualifying right now, albeit not by much in the lead of qualifying here. It's by the 10,000th ahead of Dirk Wagner. McCluskey looking quick again on an amber green, purple and a green. Is it quicker? Yes, it is. Goes even quicker. Does Ben McCluskey, and has got quite a healthy gap actually, but he's still not into the 105s yet. The track's still warming up, the tyre's still warming up. Now, I know traditionally in touring cars that this is a tyre killer, this track is, because there's so many right-handed turns, so the front left especially, takes a beating on this track. It should be fairly similar here in the GT3s. Excuse me. Debutant tonight, Bartosz Makoda. Second place in qualifying at the moment. A week ago in qualifying at Imola, we were disrupted by a little bit of rain, but I can confirm, ladies and gentlemen, in the UK live, actually, it's not raining here, so we shouldn't be expecting rain today here at Thruxton, as this series is based on realistic weather, based on what it is at the time in real life. So Ben McCluskey looking very competitive here and qualifying. He's got an opportunity today, McCluskey has. He's His championship rival, or rivals, Dominik Pester, not taking part in qualifying here, so has an opportunity in this sprint race to do some damage in the championship. And of course, Stefan Wessels is not racing tonight. So that gives McCluskey a good opportunity to really claw back some championship points. We should say welcome back to the series to Matthias Smolny. Missed a few rounds and rejoins in the silver category. Was categorised as bronze category previously, but comes back to find himself in silver category. How did that happen? Well, actually Matthias Smolny would actually pick up some wins inherently in this silver category with being promoted. I can't figure out which ones. Will probably be Red Bull Ring, actually. Smolny certainly has the potential in this silver category, so look out for him. Jeffrey Kruger here in 4th place. And Wojciech Kurp was pretty quick actually last time out at Imola. Was contending for the lead in the feature race. And let's switch over to the overall standings because they are what sets the grid. But do look out for the highest in each category, gold, silver and bronze, because getting pole position gets you bonus points in your category this season. And currently, as things stand, that'll go to Benji McCluskey, Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and newly crowned pole sitter provisionally right now, Stein Vatens. In the bronze category, it's got Alan McCain behind and Nigel Stock right in front. So the help of 2 Porsches pushing him and towing him along. A couple of drivers put in some quick laps there. Actually, Jamie Dory and Gavin Gardner being 2 of them, both next-gen drivers, helping each other out in this session here. There's a couple of drivers who've just got fresh boots on. They're heading back out. Gaz Williams, Ben Bennyworth, Sean Shute, Matthias Smolny, Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent himself. 9th overall, 7th in category here, is 4th in the championship heading into tonight. Got a little bit of slipstream from the Mustang just up ahead, which will help out particularly on this part of the track, which is near flat out. And look at that gaggle of cars going around Thruxton here right now. William Guthrie has in the last lap moved up to 2nd in qualifying here. Still quite a way to reach up to Benji McCluskey, who I was going to say was in the pits there, but we have a new pole sitter at the moment in qualifying for silver category. Stephen Fry goes to the top of the standings ahead of Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Now, I do remember from the NXTCC in the blue lobby, Stephen Fry is good at this track. So certainly look out for Stephen Fry. He's been one of the more improved drivers, I would say. I'm not being biased because I'm a Crest Autosport team manager, but he really has been one of the more improved drivers this season. There's been quite a few. Has been quite a few, and we are only 5 rounds in, so I would say Stephen Fry, Wojciech Kurp, Zara McGuinness have been the rapid improvement drivers, I would say, of the bunch so far. Ben Altra was looking quick in practice actually, but in the Aston Martin goes to 2nd place in the gold standings here. Very impressive there, and oh, I do love that Aston Martin. It's a very, very good looking car. I like how small it seems as well. It's looks like quite a small and nimble car. I haven't actually driven it myself. The cars I have driven in the field here, the Ford Mustang I did drive when it first came out, the Ferrari and the BMW. I think that's it actually. They're all the GT3 cars I have actually personally driven. Okay, so 6 minutes to go in practice. Qualifying. Our pole sitters currently are Benji McCluskey in the gold category, silver category Stephen Fry and Zara McGuinness in the bronze category. And the new pole sitter provisioning now in the silver category is Bartosz Koda on his debut, as we mentioned, really putting in a statement here. 4 hundredths of a second clear of Stephen Fry. Also in the silver category, really not that distant between the top three in that silver category, and they're quite high up the field. We do have 43. It's going to be 44 drivers competing tonight. Not quite as many as Imola. We had 51 at Imola, but a lot of drivers perhaps opting to miss tonight, perhaps because it is the more obscure of the tracks on the calendar this season, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to show the smaller calendar there. But yeah, most tracks are traditionally GT3 tracks, maybe with the exception of this one and Laguna Seca. Brandon Vincent-Squibb completed the lap but did not go quicker. Dugo's crossing the line now. Does go quicker, goes up to 6th in silver category, but 20th overall on the grid. It's important to get a good overall position because look how far Phil McDougall is from the top 3 in category. So he's really got to find some time. Zara McGuinness is in a good spot in the bronze category, a few positions clear of Stein Vatens in the top 20 overall here, which is considered the top half of the field, so in a very strong place in the bronze category. A lot of drivers going quicker here. I have a feeling they're still warming up the tyres and getting ready for, I would say, a final blitz, I would say, for the remaining minutes in this session. They're probably going to get another 3 or 4 laps into these into this session. Looking out for green sectors, we're not getting many, with the exception actually of Brandon Vincent-Squibb. I'm fairly sure I saw amber splits turn up there, but obviously not. Up into pole position goes Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and into the top 5 overall as well, which is really impressive. Phil McDougall, also in silver category, puts in a good time there, and fellow silver category driver Matthew Cheverton goes up to 5th. Cheverton won the feature race last time out at Imola, and we've had 7 different winners in the silver category actually this season, and Matthew Cheverton being the more recent. Ben McCluskey still holding pole position by 1.5 tenths, which might not sound like much, but on this track it is quite significant actually. Okay, other drivers that are on potentially good splits at the moment. Well, there aren't any at the moment. Carl Griffiths just crossed the line, and Carl Griffiths indeed won the feature race last time out overall. Is 10th in category at the moment, and 15th on the grid overall, which he might not be pleased with. Gaz Williams goes to 6th. NXTGEN doing pretty well at the moment in their with their drivers. Jamie Doy just behind in 7th place as well. Now, Dirk Wagner was quick in practice. I don't think this lap's going to be the one, as Gavin Gardner goes up to 6th position. But this isn't the lap for Dirk Wagner, the one that was quickest in practice. 3rd currently in qualifying. In category, that is. Amber splits coming through for a lot of the drivers at the moment. Some drivers have already pulled it to the pits. Watch Gaz Williams come across the line. Gaz Williams on a very good 3rd sector there, but the rest wasn't quite up to scratch, I would say. Matthew Smolny has gone quicker. He's up to 20th overall and 8th in category. Gavin Gardner quicker again, up to 5th. Leaps up 1 place. One of few Ferraris in the field is Gavin Gardner. Jonathan Berry, 36th at the moment. Let's see if John Berry can get higher. No, about 8 hundredths off of his PB and goes across the grass there. So that'll be it for Jonathan Berry. That would definitely be it. Trying to get out of the way of some other drivers there. And the checker flag is out. So drivers who are now crossing the line from Davide Favo onward are going to miss out on an extra lap here. Gaz Williams will cross the line and has pulled out, has opted out here. Alan McCain's about to cross the line. And Benji McCluskey on that final lap extends his lead at the top. Wow, that's a very, very impressive time. Near quarter of a second clear, and a lot of drivers are opting out now. There's some drivers who might complete their laps. Nigel Stock is going to be one of them. But Ben McCluskey has just secured, all the more, pole position here. And Nigel Stock does go high. He goes up to 10th in category. And a new pole sitter in the silver category, swiping it away. In the final moments there is Bartosz Makoda. Brilliant lap on his debut to take pole position in his first race in silver category here at Next Gen Racing. Matthew Cheverton seems to be touring here, so I think this is going to be it now. I think this will be, yep, that will be the last of our qualifiers. So our pole sitters will be Benji McCluskey in gold, Bartosz Makoda in silver category, and in bronze category, Oliver Forsström did take it away. I did miss that on the timing tower, but swipes away pole position from Zara McGuinness, the championship leader, back with a bang. And the top 18 there, separated by less than a second, which is really, really cool to see. So we'll head straight into the race next. We're going to be gridding up for the opening race of the night. So on pole position, and remember this is an overall grid, mix, classes, all in one grid. It is Ben McCluskey on pole position with Ben Outry alongside in second place. Probably Ben Outry's best qualifying performance of the season. William Guthrie in third position with Harry Langford fourth position. Gavin Gardner fifth with first the silver category drivers. Bartosz Makoda in sixth position. Brandon Vincent-Squibb is in seventh position with Gaz Williams in 8th position, Jamie Dory in 9th, and Stephen Fry in 10th position. Probably one of his better qualifying positions of the season. Jack Pittas 11th with Matthew Cheverton alongside in 12th. 13th, Jeffrey Kruger with Carl Griffiths in 14th position. Adam Wilson-Weir, last season's bronze category champion, is 15th from Wojciech Kerp in 16th. Ben Bennyworth in 17th from Oliver Forsström. The highest bronze category driver on the grid is 18th. Phil McDougall in 19th with Matthew Addy in 20th. Zara McGuinness, second of the bronze category drivers, is in 21st with Matthias Smolny in 22nd. 23rd is Brandon Schmidt with Sean Shute in 24th. 25th is Stein Vatens from Dirk Wagner in 26th. 27th is Nigel Stock with George Stone alongside, and on the 15th row is Alan McCain and Robert Savage, who was last week's feature race winner. Mark Sykes 31st from Matt Gatter in 32nd, Jochen Seeger 33rd from Wesley Lewin. Elwyn Sykes and Jonathan Berry round off that 18th row. 39th is Mike Reedner with Stephen de Gravelia alongside, Sammy Araba in 39th with Jopi Siemens in 40th, Fabian Kozielek in 41st from Davide Favo, and the drivers serving back of grid penalties are Dominik Pester and Paul Williams, and it will be a DNS for Stefan Vessels. All set for 44 cars taking on Thruxton tonight. So it's going to be a very, very interesting race indeed on this track, which is untraditional as I've mentioned, 4 GT3 cars. So we'll see how this sprint race goes. No pit stops in this sprint race, none to be expected. But with pit stops in the feature race, that might open up some strategies. Now, it's going to be a very short formation lap. They all start together. There's no grouped starts like what we have in the feature race and the endurance race in this series. But it's going to be a very, very... oh, are we at Church Corner there? Yeah, we're actually at Church Corner. So it's not such a bad build-up to the grid. Actually, it's not as instantaneous as I was making out there. But as we mentioned in qualifying, big opportunity here for Benji McCluskey to get some points on his rivals in the championship. They are at the very back of this field. So they've got more than 40 cars to pass to even get close to Benji McCluskey, but it might help them out in the feature race. By them, I actually mean singular. I mean Dominik Pester. So here we go. We're approaching the start-finish curve, ready to start the opening race of the night here at Thruxton. It's McCluskey and Ben Altria on the front row, and they're away already for the start of this race. And into Allard Corner we'll go. Round 5 here at Thruxton. Oh, and there's already a spin further back. Oh, and there's a lot of cars that have gone off the track, and that's Jamie Dury who's hit the wall, and that's Stephen Fry spinning off on the inside as well. And Stephen Fry's brilliant qualifying performance seems to be undone there. But these drivers carry on unless a four-course caution is going to get called. Oh, and a spin from Ben Altria there. The rear end just swapped around and it was saved very, very well. But cold tyres here are treacherous here at Thruxton. Brandon Schmidt is falling down the order. Something has happened to him. Oh, he's facing the wrong way here at the chicane. But back at the front, Benji McCluskey leads away, and they've got to be super careful on these cold tyres of all these drivers. Side by side there between Matthew Cheverton. And Cheverton gets in front of Carl Griffiths. But towards the end of lap 1 here, good start from McCluskey. Guthrie into second place. It's Ben Altria that's lost a fair few positions. He's down to 8th place overall here. We will switch to the grouped category standings eventually. In the bronze category, is looking pretty close for that. Well, close in terms of position. Oh, and there is an instant further back. That's Nigel Stock facing the wrong way. And he's out of the way of the traffic there, but that's going to lose him a lot of positions in the silver category. Oliver Forsström from Zara McGuinness and Stein Vaten's in the bronze category here. And in the silver category, Makodas gains a place. Brandon Vincent-Squibb loses a place and is behind Ben Altria and Gaz Williams. And Matthew Cheverton with a very good start there is up to 3rd place in category. 9th overall. Seeger has had an instant. He spun around as well. I just wonder if the cold tyres really are getting to the better of a lot of drivers here. Really good start to this race for McCluskey from Guthrie and Langford. It's the Ford Mustang 1, 2, 3 here in the gold category. Langford on board with him now. And we do have a leader switch in the bronze category. Zara McGuinness has got ahead of Oliver Forsström. And this is how it happened. Well, quite a way ahead actually is Oliver Forsström of Quatermass. And it might be a slow down penalty. Let's just find out. The Quatermass car up ahead. Yep, that might well be a slow down penalty that Oliver Forsström was serving, and it relinquishes the lead in bronze category to Zara McGuinness. Half a second between McCluskey, Guthrie and Langford. And a bit of a gap to Gavin Gardner here and Bartosz Bakoda in the silver category at the moment anyway. Hanging on very well with these silver category drivers. We'll switch over to the group standings, as that's what their points are based on. Gaz Williams looking around. Bakoda there. It's going to be difficult to overtake here, particularly when they're in a slipstream train. Not such a good exit from that corner, though, from Gavin Gardner, as Bakoda is right on his heels. Round Allard Corner. I would say the best overtaking opportunity on this track is approaching this corner here, and Gavin Gardner goes to defend the inside, and so is Gaz Williams from Ben Altria. But I would say that's one of the better opportunities to overtake, as Zara McGuinness is facing the wrong way here. Straight into the replay. Now that's side by side, Zara McGuinness and Oliver Forsström. Forsström understeers into Zara McGuinness, sends her around. Just about avoids the traffic there and couldn't hang on to the car. And that really undoes the race of Zara McGuinness there. And I think Oliver Forsström realised what happened and tried to back off to let Zara McGuinness recover, but couldn't. That gives Stein Vatens the right to run away here in bronze category lead, knowing that there might actually be a penalty hanging over the head of Oliver Forsström. Oh, that was close. Maybe even a little bit of contact there between Stein Vatens and Forsström. Vatens was slow heading out of Church Corner, and Forsström just might as well carry on. Really had to crank the wheel in the chicane there, because that's how difficult it is on these narrow corners here at Thruxton, on these cold tyres as well, as George Stone makes it alongside Forsström, and they're really having to back off on the inside of Allard Corner here. But through goes George Stone, up another place overall. Oh, and back up the inside, attempting there was Matthias Smolny, but couldn't quite make it work. It's Dominik Pester, here he comes, moving his way through the field. 22 places gained already overall here. He's up half the field already in this race. And top 15 in category score points in category. So there are points going on the board for Dominik Pester in this race as it stands. Jack Pittas, Mr. Consistent. Well, it's not a very consistent looking front bumper on his car at the moment. Missing by all accounts. And that will be affecting the grip on his car now. A leader switch in the silver category. Bartosz Makoda has lost places overall and in category 2. Moves to the inside. It might be a slow down penalty actually. Yep, by the looks of it, has cut the chicane a little bit too much and relinquishes the lead in the silver category. Matthew Cheverton alongside now, trying to get it to the inside, but now the outside for this next corner, and Matthew Cheverton hangs on and has the inside for this outside section around Goodwood Village and Church Corners, and now ahead into second place goes Matthew Cheverton. Healthy lead for Stein Vatens in the bronze category. 3-second lead ahead of Oliver Forsström has opened up that gap. Meanwhile, Dirk Wagner finds his way onto the podium positions in bronze category. Is slowly catching up with Oliver Forsström here by the seeming of it. Business as usual for Benji McCluskey at the front of the gold category. William Guthrie hanging on though, keeping Benji McCluskey honest here. Langford's dropped back a little bit. And a lot of drivers really in the opening laps struggling for grip as we see a fast lap of the race in category 4 Stein Vatens, and that's significant because fastest lap in your category in each of these races gets you bonus points, all of which helps in your championship. Stein Vatens, I don't think, has won a race yet this season in bronze category. No, he hasn't. In his new team, he's yet to pick up a win. But a regular winner in the bronze category, it must be said, is Stein Vatens. Was actually contending for the championship 2 seasons ago in the bronze category, heading into the final round. As that's Dominik Pester in the gold category, making his way around Stein Vatens here. They won't squabble too much, will these two drivers? And the amount of curb that Dominik Pester took at Church Corner there must be legal, but it was a huge amount. Fastest lap of the race in silver category. The tyres are getting warmer for these drivers, and Brandon Vincent-Squibb, leader of the race here in silver category, also picking up the bonus points as it stands. So looking good for the championship leader. Following the 2 drivers ahead, which is Ben Altria and Gaz Williams. And they're also being towed along a little bit by Gavin Gardner up ahead. And I am now starting to see that it is quite tricky to overtake here once they're in a bit of a slipstream train. A little bit out like how the DRS train works in Formula 1, I suppose. Where it's almost impossible to get the upper hand of the driver in front because there is another driver in front punching a hole for the driver that is in front of you. Oh, Ben Altra getting all sorts of out of shape there. Keeping hold of it. 2 good saves I've seen from Ben Altra tonight so far. As the car is touring on the inside there. It's one of the CSA Mustangs. I think that might have been Davide Favo actually, or Jopi Siemens actually. William Guthrie at the top of gold category here really is keeping Ben McCluskey honest here. Now William Guthrie rejoined the series, I would say, last time out at Imola. Was looking quick in the sprint race, and the feature race didn't quite go to plan for him. And Ben McCluskey has a feature race win to his name. That was at Red Bull Ring, I believe. William Guthrie, the last race I remember him seeing him win would have been Season 5 in the prototypes. I'll put my finger on what race that was. That's the last time we saw William Guthrie here on Thursday night here at Next Gen Racing. It is a very big welcome back to him. Strong lead for Stein Vatens in bronze category is just opening up that lead. 4 seconds now ahead of Oliver Forsström. And fastest lap of the race to add to that for Stein Vatens. 2-second lead there or thereabouts for Brandon Vincent-Squibb in the Mustang, up against fellow Mustang driver in silver category, Matthew Cheverton. He is making his progress away from Bartosz Bakoda, who was pole sitter in silver category, did drop down due to a slowdown, as we mentioned a few laps ago. Ben Altra making his way past Gaz Williams there for 5th place. We are actually going to see a lot of laps turned in the feature race later on. It's a 1-hour race, so I anticipate we're going to see, well, at least 50. Maybe around 54 laps, maybe, in the feature race, so quite a lot. And it does mean that drivers can essentially save more laps on fuel, because it's easier to save laps on fuel on a shorter track, particularly, well, actually, is it going to be on this track, considering you're flat out for the majority of it? That remains to be seen. Trying to get alongside Gavin Gardner, disposed of. Oh, there's contact between the two. I was going to say disposed of Gaz Williams on the previous lap, but contact there has bunched up this pack a little bit. And Ben Altra is trying to make his way back past Gavin Gardner there in the chicane. Not going to happen just yet, though, but he's all over the rear as we head around turns 1 and 2, and as we head towards Campbell Corner. Oh, getting out of shape under the brakes there. I think Gavin Gardner was trying to defend it. Oh, Altra is alongside, trying to keep all that. Aston Martin still does, but loses positions. Aston Martin is looking like a bit of a handful. Now, we're going to switch to the top 3 in the gold category, as McCluskey is stretching away a little bit from Guthrie, and Guthrie is now under pressure from Harry Langford. Langford, who's one of the highest scorers in gold category last week at Imola, so is in fine form heading into tonight. And it's carrying on into the chicane, not late enough on the brakes, but was very close to the rear of William Guthrie. I think had to back out a little bit and lost a little bit of time. This track is proving difficult for the drivers. That's definitely how it seems at the moment. Brandon Vincent-Squibb surrounded by gold drivers, Gaz Williams and Carl Griffiths. And Matthew Cheverton not too far behind, so Brandon Vincent-Squibb will be conscious that he doesn't want to get mixed in and get his elbows out too much with the gold drivers, and he'll feel vice versa. Matthew Cheverton has a drive between him and top spot in the silver category. You know what? We might actually get, unless Bartosz Makota comes through to win this, we might actually get our first repeat winner in silver category. Jeffrey Kruger has had an incident. Oh, he's facing the wrong way there. Let's just find out what happened to Jeffrey Kruger. Side by side with one of the Mission R cars. Oh, it just switches round. It is proving very, very difficult for these drivers out there. And Makota has moved ahead of Matthew Cheverton. Let's just stick with it for now, just in case Cheverton takes it back. They've dropped off the back of P1, Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Oh, and there's a bit of contact between Makota and Cheverton there. This is how Makota did it. If it wants to show us it, which I don't think it's gonna, which is a bit of a shame. Yep. Oh, there we go. Cheverton getting a bit scruffy out of the chicane there, and Makota just capitalises on that. We were able to capture that. They have dropped off a little bit of time from Brandon Vincent-Squibb, which eases the pressure for him, I suppose, for this race. Time coming down between Stein-Vatens and Forsström. It was looking pretty good for Stein-Vatens a few laps ago. But now I suppose they're in open air. They're able to really focus on their laps. And Oliver Forsström seeming to be the quicker of the two. Although on the last lap, Vatens was half a second. No, that's best I'm looking at. On the last lap, yeah, Forsström was a little bit slower. So let's just compare this lap now. Well, fastest lap personal for Forsström, Wagner and Berry actually, but Stein-Vatens still not as quick, half a second lost on that lap. Now Brandon Vincent-Squibb has lost an overall position here, and it is putting him into the clutches of Bartosz Makota. Now I mentioned just a few moments ago that we might get a repeat winner in silver category. I hope I haven't jinxed it there. Go into club chicane. No move yet from Makota. Oh, and a big spin there from Ben Altrier. Another one, and that one hits the wall. He wasn't able to hold on to that one. And I am really sensing that Aston Martin is difficult to handle out there. And such a good qualifying session for Ben Altrier. He'll feel disappointed with this race. But we'll see how he gets on in the future race. He's certainly got good pace. Whoa, Carl Griffiths getting out of shape there. The silver drivers moved past him. He was able to keep hold of it, was Carl Griffiths. And it is just so difficult out there. Now the silver category drivers, the top three, are together. And we've got 2.5 minutes left in this race. Any three of these can definitely win this. Quite an intense battle in the silver category. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Oliver Forsström is getting closer and closer to Stein-Vatens. Will he have enough time to catch up as Matthew Cheverton moves past Makota? And Carl Griffiths is going to move his way around Makota, which is going to make fighting for silver category second and first all the more difficult for Makota. Griffiths moves through. Now Cheverton has a chance to try and get up against Vincent-Squibb. Less than 2 seconds between Stein-Vatens and Oliver Forsström as well. Forsström is following his teammate, so that will be helping out a little bit. But still at the top, just over a second clear, is Ben McCluskey in gold category. When he's in control of a race like this, he's clinical in securing those victories. And it's showing here. We will just keep an eye on silver category for now. 1 minute to go. We'll be approaching the final moments of this race. And quite a battle going on between Gavin Gardner and Gaz Williams, both teammates, indirect teammates I would say, at Next Gen Racing. Nice battling, nice clean battling too. Gavin Gardner gives a little push on the exit to Gaz Williams. They sit 4th and 5th at the moment. White flag is waving. This will be the last lap for race leader Benji McCluskey. This is the view from Matthew Cheverton of silver category leader ahead. Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Vincent-Squibb, whose one race win in silver category this season, came in the opening round at Fuji International, round 1, race 1 of the season, and has not had the win since. Bronze category though, also Oliver Forsström, fastest lap, but I think it might be too little too late as the end of the race is approaching, and it's back onto the top step of the podium for Benji McCluskey. A sprint race win added to his list of wins. The most winningest driver in the GT3s at Next Gen gets another race win. William Guthrie 2nd position and Harry Langford 3rd place. And in the silver category, it's looking very close as Matthew Cheverton's able to get it alongside, but it will be Brandon Vincent-Squibb who gets his 2nd race win of the season, with Matthew Cheverton in 2nd place, and a strong debut for Bartosz Makoda. Bronze category, and it was looking a little bit tense towards the end there, but Stijn Vatens will hang on for a bronze category win, his first of the season in this sprint race, with Oliver Forsström, the championship leader, will still have a good haul of points from this race, finishing 2nd. And Dirk Wagner, I think his best result in bronze category so far this season is 3rd. Well, I wouldn't say the most exciting race we've had this season, but we've had a few good battles, and actually what we've seen is a real struggle for grip out there. And actually, overall, the top 7, 6 of them were Mustangs. Overall, that is. The only non-Mustang driver in the top 7 was Gavin Gardner in 5th place in the Ferrari. So it goes to show how good that car actually is on this track. And championship leader Dominik Pester, it must be said, up to 8th place in category by the end of that race, starting at the back of gold category. 30 places gained overall in that race for Dominik Pester. So we'll not start at the front of the gold category grid for the next race, but we'll start some places ahead of Benji McCluskey in the next race. So let's go to the results. And we'll start with the gold category. It's Benji McCluskey taking the win in this gold category. William Guthrie 2nd from Harry Langford. Gaz Williams, one of his best results of the season. 4th position from Gavin Gardner in 5th. Carl Griffiths in 6th position from Ben Bennyworth. Dominik Pester, as we mentioned, up from last in the category and overall to that 8th spot in gold category. Jack Pittas 9th from Adam Wilson. We're in rounding off the top 10 in gold category. Brandon Schmidt 11th from Sean Shute. Ben Alscher in 13th, struggling with grip out there. Jamie Dory 2 laps down in 14th, and Stefan Vessels is a non-starter in this race. Over to silver category now, and it is a 2nd win of the season for Brandon Vincent-Squibb, his 2nd sprint race win of the season as well. In 2nd position, right behind at the end there, is Matthew Cheverton. Bartosz Makoda on his debut is 3rd position. Phil McDougall in 4th from Wojciech Kerp. Matthew Addy 6th and Matthias Smolny in 7th. Stephen Fry is 8th from Jeffrey Kruger in 9th, and George Stone rounding off the top 10. Nigel Stock 11th. Paul Williams a lap down in 12th, and Alan McCain following. Wesley Lewin in 14th, and presumably retirements from this race are Mike Riedner and Jopi Siemens. Bronze category now, and it is a 1st win of the season for Stijn Vatens. So 4th in the championship heading into this race, so that will help him out indeed. Oliver Forsström 2nd position and will continue to lead the championship definitely with that result. And Dirk Wagner, best result so far this season in bronze category, is 3rd. Jonathan Berry in 4th place from Mark Sykes in 5th. Stephen de Grevelius 6th from Elwyn Sykes in 7th. Zara McGuinness in 8th from Rob Savage in 9th, and rounding off the top 10 and presumably rounding off the finishers is Jochen Siegert, Sami Araba and Matt Gatter 11th and 12th, and definite non-finishers were Fabien Kozielek and Davide Favo. So there we go, that's been the opening race of the night, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the feature race coming up next. It's going to be reverse grid of those sprint race results, but they're going to be grouped in their categories, and the category results from the sprint race will be reversed to form the grid positions for the feature race. That'll be coming up very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with the Next Gen Racing GT3s after the break.
Hello and welcome to NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to NXTGEN Racing on YouTube and Facebook. This is the GT3 Season 8, and you join us at Thruxton Circuit for Round 5 of the Championship. Before we get started, let's give a big shout out, as always, to our partners, sponsors and affiliates here at NXTGEN Racing who help put on the show here. And they are PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC, and Dober Motorcycles. This is the GT3's Season 8, and we are nearing the halfway point of the season. Upon conclusion of tonight, we are halfway through the season. But you can still get involved in the series if you want to, if you're a big fan of GT3 racing, or if you're indeed a big fan of this series, or both. If you scan the QR code to the off center of our screen there, that'll give you access to NXTGEN Racing's Discord server. Or if the QR code is inaccessible for you, please click the link in our description. Or if you are a fan of the series, you can still join the Discord server to see all the announcements and get involved in all the communications between the drivers and the teams and the admins. We started off all them weeks ago at Fuji International, then Red Bull Ring, then the first endurance at Spa-Francorchamps, and last week was at Imola, but today we're here at Thruxton Circuit, the untraditional circuit belonging to GT3s this season, and then that'll see us out of the first half of the season after the next race tonight. But next week we'll be heading back to the endurances, and oh boy, I do love the endurance rounds in this championship, and it's at Daytona Road Course, which is always great for endurance racing. That's next week here on NXTGEN Racing on YouTube and Facebook. This time next week, that'll be the second of 3 endurance rounds of the season, and then after that we'll be off to Laguna Seca, then Brands Hatch Grand Prix, then Nürburgring Grand Prix for the final sprint and feature race format race round of the season, and then Sebring International will end it for round 10 for an endurance round again. So we're here at Thruxton, as we mentioned, and we've got the feature race coming up next. A 60-minute race. We will see one scheduled pit stop. That is the ideal strategy in these feature races here at NXTGEN Racing on Thursdays. And as we join the live action down circuit side, drivers getting a little bit more practice in before we get ready for the next race of the night. And our race winners from the opening race of the night. Benji McCluskey taking his second win of the season in the gold category. A second win of the season in silver category for Brandon Vincent-Squibb. And an opening win of the season in bronze category for Steinvatens. So we'll see how the feature race gets on next. Now we did see drivers actually kind of struggling to overtake a little bit in the sprint race. There are a couple of overtakes still, but it's one of those where once you get into a slipstream train, it becomes a little bit harder to overtake for these drivers. And we're going to be heading into the feature race in the next few moments. It will be a 1-hour race, as we mentioned, with one scheduled pit stop as the optimal strategy for these drivers. And we'll see how these drivers decide to play their pit stops, whether they go early, whether they go long. But equally, I think actually saving fuel on this track will be a little bit tricky because they are flat out on the throttle for more than 80% of the lap, or 80% of a clean lap, should we say. So here we go, practice is over. Let's head over to the grid for this feature race. And remember, it is each category grouped together and their grid order based on the results of the previous race. Reversed. So we'll start off with the gold category. And it's Jamie Dury who will start on pole position in said category, with Ben Altra, who was on the front row in the previous race, but did not have such a good race. He gets another opportunity here, second on the grid for this race. Sean Shute is third, with Brandon Schmidt alongside him fourth. Adam Wilson-Weir fifth from Jack Pittas in sixth. Dominik Pester, championship leader, got up a fair few positions in the previous race. He'll start seventh in this race, ahead of all of his rivals. Ben Bennyworth is alongside in eighth. Carl Griffiths, last week's feature race winner, is right behind his teammate on the grid here, and he's got Gavin Gardner alongside him. Gaz Williams 11th from Harry Langford in 12th position, and at the back of the gold grid is William Guthrie and Benji McCluskey. In the silver category, it's Mike Reedno who'll start on the front of the grid, with Wesley Lewin in second, Alan McCain third from Paul Williams. Nigel Stock and George Stone will line up on the third row for the silvers, with Jeffrey Kruger and Stephen Fry on the fourth row. Matthew Smolny and Matthew Addy will start 9th and 10th, Wojciech Kerp and Phil McDougall 11th and 12th. Bartesh Makoda 13th and 14th is Matthew Cheverton, and at the back of the silver grid is Brandon Vincent-Squibb, the race 1 winner, and Jason Rath. In the bronze category, Fabian Kozielek will start on pole position for the bronze category, with Matt Gatter in second. Sammy Araba will start third position, with Jochen Seeger in fourth position. Rob Savage fifth position, with Zara McGuinness alongside in sixth. Elwyn Sykes seventh from Stephen de Gravelia alongside. Mark Sykes and John Berry will line up on the fifth row of the bronze category, and the top in third and fourth from the sprint race, Dirk Wagner and Oliver Forsström will start 11th and 12th, and at the back of the grid will be the race 1 winner Stein Vatens and Davide Favo in 14th. We're all set to go here at Thruxton for our feature race, 60 minutes with pit stops thrown in. Each category will start separately in this race. The golds will start first, and then approximately 5 to 10 seconds later will be the silver category, and approximately 5 to 10 seconds after that will be the bronze category. So Jamie Dorey very often actually starts at the front of these feature races. And Imola, and also in Spa-Francorchamps, led quite a lot of those races. So we'll see how he gets on tonight on what is actually one of his home tracks. Here at Thruxton, he marshals here a lot. Actually, quite a lot of the Next Gen crowd do marshal at Thruxton. Jamie Dorey, Mark Sykes, Martin Brinkworth. There are probably others that I haven't mentioned. I do apologise. But this is pretty much a home track for Next Gen Racing. And I'm sure they are very glad that it's on iRacing. I imagine that's one of the reasons it's in the calendar. Jamie Dorey eager to get going. Look at it. Okay, we'll head round Church Corner. Silver category, weight behind, and the gold set off. This will be an interesting race because there was a lot of cross-category battles happening out on the track in the previous race that kind of would disrupt things and help others out in the previous race. It's going to be less so the case in this race until categories start lapping one another. Pace car leads them towards Club Corner, or Club Chicane. As you'll see here, quite a gap between silver and gold categories I mentioned. Probably not as big a gap as we normally see. Jamie Dorey will lead them to the line, and the lights go green very quickly, and all the drivers ducking out, as it's quite a surprise how quickly it goes green here at Thruxton. But the gold category is away, and there is a crash in the middle there. Is that Dominik Pester, who was caught up in that instant then? There's a lot of gold category drivers off there. Silver category, do they get underway? I believe they do, but there are a lot of gold drivers recovering on the side of the road there. Away they go, and it's Mike Reedner at the front. Still gold drivers recovering, and think Adam Wilson-Weir is one of them caught up. On the inside goes Alan McCain. on Mike Reedner at the chicane, and not quite through yet, and there's another spin in the middle of the silver crowd there. Somehow they all avoid a major crash there. Some still go off the track. Matthew Addy is one of them. Oh, and there's a Crest Autosport collision there. That was Stephen Fry collecting, I think it was Wesley Lewin. I haven't even checked on the bronze category, and there's a spin also for them. Oh, it's really happening in this race at the moment. But let's get back towards the front of the field, and we've got a whole lap of drama. And Jamie Dory's completed the lap here at Thruxton for this feature race. He's got Ben Outra right behind him though. Ben Outra, look out for him in this race. If he can keep it in a straight line in this race. He struggled for grip in the previous race. The Aston Martin a real handful for him. But he was quick earlier in qualifying, as we see William Guthrie making a big move on Ben Bennyworth there for 6th position. Dominik Pester is already up to 4th place, and look at this, we've got Ben Outra already making a move potentially on Jamie Dory. Nope, not quite, right behind him. But meanwhile, in the silver category, Alan McCain leads, stretching a little bit of a lead here for Mike Reedner. Sammy Arabo will lead in. Got a bronze category from Matt Gatter and teammate Jonathan Berry. This is Langford and Dominik Pester. Langford with a very good start to this race. He's up 8 places in category already. Now we will go back to check out what happened at the start of this race for the gold category, but we'll do it in just a moment. Look at this, Dominik Pester. Oh, and that's Ben Outra off in the tyres. Oh, it's given way on him again, and actually because that Aston Martin is such a handful, it was easy for him to turn around there. But that's besides the point. He has lost more positions, even struggled to get it back going again. Look at this. This is a battle for the lead. Brandon Schmidt making a move on Jamie Dory. He's got the outside for the chicane. He'll have the inside for the next corner, and he's through. And back here, we've got all these cars battling. That's Langford, who's lost out to Gaz Williams here. Oh, and he nearly loses it. Through goes McCluskey. And it's so tricky on these tyres early doors in this race. Dominik Pester right behind William Guthrie here. Guthrie has had brilliant progress in this race. He's ahead of the championship leader heading into tonight, Dominik Pester. Jamie Dory fighting back against Brandon Schmidt though. Round Church Corner has got it back past the German driver. And club chicane now. No move from Schmidt, but Pester's back through into 3rd place past William Guthrie. Oh, please don't do that again. A couple of drivers in the pits. But good move from Dominik Pester. He can now set his sights on 1 and 2. Tyres might be a little bit warmed up now. We've done about 4 laps. Ben McCluskey here. Got Quatermass drivers around him. That was Harry Langford going for a little move, but decides to opt out of it. Silver category, let's check on them. Alan McCain extending his lead, but Jeffrey Kruger actually cutting that lead a little bit on that last lap, with fastest lap of the race so far in silver category. And for some reason our timing tower seems to think that the silvers are in the lead. They're not, let me assure you. Sammy Araba and Jonathan Berry, 1 and 2 here. They've got past Matt Gatter and they can work on stretching away here. And as Harry Araba actually lets through Jonathan Berry there, that might have been slowed down or tactics, one or the other. Right, we are going to try and go back to the start of this race, as there was a big incident as we saw in the gold category, and just want to check on it. Let's go from Adam Wilson-Weir's view. He was one of them who was involved in the incident. He ducks out with the slow starting car ahead of him. Oh, and then yeah, it's one of the CSA drivers. I think it's Sean Shute gets collected. Let's just go again. Let's watch from Sean Shute, as he had a driver to his inside. I think it might have been Dominik Pester, you know. I think it was. So let's watch Dominik Pester here. I think Dominik Pester has made that collision. Yep, there he is to the inside. And that may have been the cause of that incident. One for the stewards to sort out as look at this battle here. We've rejoined in gold category here. 3 wide heading down to club chicane. And through goes Schmidt, but Pester's on the inside. Pester's got the better line out of the corner, though. He bounces across the curb. Oh, and they're both sideways. And through the middle is going to go William Guthrie. But Schmidt loses out. To fourth he goes. Pester's through into the lead. And there's still 3 wides going on here. Look at this. This is one of the Quatermass cars around the outside. There's still 3 wide going through the chicane. Jamie Dory has to drop back. But that was Ben Bennyworth sneaking through. Trying to get past Schmidt as well, but that didn't quite work out. Ben McCluskey is also passed. And this is Langford trying to get past Jamie Dory as well. Side by side between Bennyworth and Schmidt still. But all this squabbling here is allowing Pester and Guthrie to get up the road here. Schmidt has lost grip there on the outside on the marbles, and that's losing him out to McCluskey and Dory. These two can't stay separated. A lap later, they've lost a lot of places. There's a big nudge on the rear there for Jamie Dory there to get him through past Brandon Schmidt. Brilliant battling in this gold category here. But leading this race now is Dominik Pester. Now he will have lap 1 hanging over him with the stewards after the race potentially. But this means William Guthrie has got a big chance of trying to go for the win in this race. But McCluskey, quick in the sprint race, quick in qualifying. He can get past Ben Bennyworth, who's looking very, very, very good in this race at the moment. McCluskey can try and working on catching up with Guthrie, and more importantly for him, his championship rival up ahead. Now, Jeffrey Kruger is the new leader in the silver category. He's got his way past Alan McCain. Now, I'm going to struggle to potentially find that move because my timing tower went a little bit mental during all that battling. See if I can find it. But leading the silver category is Jeffrey Kruger. I am not going to find that move from him. I do apologise. We were watching that big scrap in the gold category, though. But race 1 winner in the silver category is 7th in category right now. Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Making his way up, I would say. And in the bronze category, opening up a pretty decent lead of 2 seconds at the moment is Jonathan Berry, with Matt Gatter in 2nd place. And actually, Sammy Araba has dropped back a little bit. Zara McGuinness having her best night as it stands with 2nd place in the first race. Sorry, 3rd place in the first race. He's all over the rear of Matt Gatter at the moment. Will she make the move going into club corner? Brandon Vincent-Squibb fastest lap in the silver category at the moment. No move yet from Zara McGuinness. Guthrie not letting Dominik Pester get away at the front here. 2.5 seconds clear of Ben McCluskey, which is going to help them. There's a car peeling off into the pits. That might have been Jamie Dory, actually. No, I think it was Mark Sykes actually peeling off into the pits there. Now, race 1 runner-up in silver category, Matthew Cheverton, something's happened to him as he's quite a long way back and far down the order. So we might be able to catch up as to what happened to him later on. Swap of positions again in silver category. Up into 2nd place is Phil McDougall. And now the 2 Porsche drivers of Alan McCain and Nigel Stock together. They can potentially work together. And this is how Phil McDougall got past Alan McCain. I may be able to find this overtake. Big slipstream there from Phil McDougall. This will be at Church Corner. Gets through. That's quite a good move, actually, utilising the slipstream and getting through. Guthrie real close to Dominik Pester here. Guthrie really looks comfortable in the car right now, looking very confident. I would say Guthrie is probably a little bit out of stretch for championship potential here, but winning potential is very much on for him in this championship. 4 race wins, that is. No move yet. Fastest lap in bronze category just set by Oliver Forsström. He was 2nd in the previous race, 5th right now here in bronze category. Brandon Vincent-Squibb making moves past Paul Williams. He's up to 6th place in category. Oh. Bartosz Makoda quite a way back. Hasn't been the start he probably would have wanted in this silver category, but still in the race here. Chasing after Matthew Addy. John Berry has lost a bit of time to Matt Gatter. And I must say, Matt Gatter is... I was talking about most improved drivers earlier. Matt Gatter's one of them. Matt Gatter was... no offence to anyone, including himself, but quite far way back in the pack in the bronze category last season. But this season has been there or thereabouts in a fair few races this season. He's in the top 3 here, contending. Flashing the lights there from Dominik Pester, flashing the back marker there. I think that's Matthew Cheverton, actually. So there we go, No, it's not. Do excuse me. It's someone else. With a missing front bumper. Can't be helpful on this track when you need a lot of front end downforce and of course you need top end speed as well, and good aerodynamics on this track. Fastest lap of the race in bronze category for Zara McGuinness, and she is closing in on this top 2 in bronze category now. So a 3-way battle for bronze category might be on. Game of chess begins for these 3 drivers. Because pit stops will be around the corner, figuratively speaking there. Stock and Alan McCain quite close now. They are teammates. They'll probably spur each other on a little bit. Brandon Vincent-Squibb is lurking in behind. Still no progress at the top of gold category. And look at this. This is Matt Gatter closing in to the inside of John Berry as they go around Allard corner, keeping it nice and tight on the inside, but able to power it around the outside is Jonathan Berry. And look at Zara McGuinness looking around as well. Into the chicane we go. Zara McGuinness to the inside. Brilliant move from Zara McGuinness there. And we'll hold it for the next part of the chicane. Brilliant move. That really disrupted things for Matt Gatter, who was looking interested at getting past Jonathan Berry there, but Zara McGuinness timed a very good overtake there to ensure that Jonathan Berry, her teammate, is safe for the moment, but she's after him now. Jonathan Berry is a former race winner in the bronze category, 2 race wins, but Zara McGuinness, none. Yet to win a race in this season. And look at this. He's not wasting any time. He's going for it now. Here we go for Church Corner. Nice and tight to the inside. And gets through. Brilliant. What a lap from Zara McGuinness there. Fantastic. And look at this. Matt Gatter now back to the inside. Almost a lap later, but this one looks a bit more of an opportunity. But no, same thing happens. John Berry powers it around the outside. Great battling in this bronze category. And this is what I was saying earlier on, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to get involved in this series, you can. And whatever category you're in, you will be in contention for race wins. All over the field, strong battles for race wins are going on. And you can see it here in spades with this bronze category. Oh, and a big nudge at the rear from Gatter on Jonathan Berry on a very, very fast part of the track as well, I might add. But they both managed to hold on to it rather well. Silver category, Brandon Vincent-Squibb is closing in, I would say, on Nigel Stock, who's lost a bit of time to Alan McCain, his teammate, up ahead. The race 1 winner in silver category. Doing well in this one so far. Ben McCluskey got a couple of back markers ahead, which isn't going to help. He's going to be flashing his lights furiously and losing time, potentially. There we go. Flash the lights again. Come on, get out of my way, guys. Another flash of the lights. Come on, get out of my way, guys. Thruxton is admittedly a hard track to just get out of the way on. That has lost Ben McCluskey over a second, actually. He'll be very disappointed about that, actually. Just up ahead, that's Rob Savage, last week's feature race winner, and Stephen de Grevelia as well. Brandon Vincent-Squibb very close to Nigel Stock. Might there be a move going into the chicane? Not quite. Stock hangs on to it for now. William Guthrie's really close as well. I think he might have the inside going into the chicane here. There we go. He's alongside, and through he goes. Change to the lead in the gold category. William Guthrie, welcome back to the front of the field. But fighting back is Dominik Pester. He's won plenty of races this season, and he'll want this one as well. He has lap 1 instant hanging over him, potentially. And a flash of lights there. Oh, and off the track. That was Dirk Wagner going well off the track there. I mean, getting out of the way of the leaders is one thing, but that was quite a bit much. But it did help out these two. Now, can Pester fight it back against Guthrie? Brandon Vincent-Squibb is past Nigel Stock. Here's how he did it. Here we go, once we've got the connection back. And the breaking into club. By the looks of it, yeah. Nigel Stock didn't really contest that one too much. Benji McCluskey chasing after the top two. It's going to be very difficult for McCluskey to do that. Steinvaten's race 1 winner in the bronze category, ahead of whom was second position in the previous race, Oliver Forsström. And they're both going for 4th place here against Jochen Siegert. Oh, and look at this. To the inside goes Oliver Forsström. Might end up overtaking. Steinvaten's here. Oh, contact between the two. And off goes Steinvaten's into the grass. And he's going to struggle. No, 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 don't go there. Oh, my word. That could have been messy. But Steinvaten's will have to rejoin, and this is going to lose a lot of positions. Now, let's just get another replay off that, because we didn't quite get full view there. Here we go. Big run here from Oliver Forsström. It's a little bit shallow into Church Corner. I wonder if that might have done something here. No, I would say Oliver Forsström was on the curb there. And Steinvaten's doesn't provide enough room on the inside. Quite a scary rejoin to go with that, actually. But in bronze category, it's Zara McGuinness leading away with it. Leading by 1.3 seconds from teammate Jonathan Berry. And Matt Gatter not too far behind, actually. Five-second lead for Jeffrey Kruger in silver category. Last season's champion in silver category. It was promoted to gold. And now comes back down to silver category by choice of the admins. Dominik Pester closing back in towards William Guthrie here. And I anticipate pit stops will start rolling around in approximately 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Depends how much fuel they're actually burning out there on this virtual track. With their foot being planted to the floor quite a bit here, actually. I anticipated that they'd use quite a bit of fuel, but I have been wrong in the past. Look back to silver category. This is Brandon Vincent-Squibb trying to get himself onto the podium. You know what? That would be a very rewarding position for him in the championship. And that'll further solidify his grasp of P1 in the championship. Flash the lights there to Alan McCain. That's not a signal to get out of the way. Well, though it might be. It may be more of a distraction point. Battle for the final podium spot in silvers. Guarding the inside a little bit there was Alan McCain, but with a good run out of the corner there is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Flash of the lights there, but I don't think Alan McCain's going to see that. Side by side, McCain's trying to fight it. Actually, McCain's hung on to it there. Has to stamp on the brakes for the second part of the chicane, though. Is really guarding this position. He's making it hard work for Brandon Vincent-Squibb, that's for sure. Got alongside, he'll have the inside for the first corner of the chicane here, and actually if he can get the brake in late enough, he'll be able to hang on to it, but McCain really is trying to hang on to it, and he has. Brilliant defending here from Alan McCain. Fighting back is Vincent-Squibb. That Mustang quite powerful there, and he had to back out of that one, and Matthew Addy is all over the rear now. Matthew Addy is a lap down, but joining the battle potentially is Nigel Stock. He's catching up to these two. Squibb to the outside at Church Corner now. I think he might have got it here. Oh, nearly contact between the two. There we go. McCain's going to get straight back into the slipstream and going to try and fight back. Will he have the inside for the chicane? He's going to brake later. He's going to go for it. And he does. Oh, no, he goes a little bit wide of the chicane there. Undercut out of the corner. McCain's desperately trying to hang on to it. It's really making it hard for Vincent-Squibb, but he's through. That might have done it. And a flush of the lights there from McCain. Good game, mate. Oh, no, he's diving it back. He is. Oh, on the brakes there. No, McCain spins round. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. And into the wall he goes. Oh, he'll be so frustrated about that. But that was a nice battle we were watching there. Now, right, okay. Oh, here we go. William Guthrie's in the pits. Oh, very small pit lane here at Thruxton. Actually, Zara McGuinness, I just saw it off the screen there, because I got 3 screens. I could see what happened on my left there. You didn't see it. But Zara McGuinness has actually missed her pit box there. So that's really going to cost her time in the pits here. But we might get another lap out of Dominik Pester and Benji McCluskey. Look how close he's got. In the last few laps, he's really closed into Dominik Pester. And maybe William Guthrie. We'll have to find out. Guthrie rejoins the race. Unless something's happened to William Guthrie that we didn't see. It's the only thing I'm thinking. No, I don't think so. So here we go. Let's see if these two pit. Now, Ben McCluskey, yep, he's into the pits as well, following Dominik Pester in. Now, Ben McCluskey has, I would say, got a major opportunity at another win tonight. He's done it before in this series. Now here comes Liam Guthrie, and my pit strategy board is still not working, which is rather annoying. Never mind. Right, okay. Here comes William. Oh no, there's contact! William Guthrie and Jason Raff, I think that is. So that's going to cost him time. And back out on the track is Dominik Pester. And Benjamin McCluskey, who's lost time, actually. And William Guthrie is behind them. Now, he would have been slowed down by that instant with Jason Raff there. So this really shakes things up a little bit in the gold category. McCluskey's lost a bit of time. But also, William Guthrie's tyres will be warmed up a little bit more. He's got to try and make his way past Jamie Dory and Brandon Schmidt here. A little bit of time lost for the previous race leader. Through he goes. Jamie Dory doesn't pretend that too much. Dominik Pester has a 4.4 second lead. Now, how is he that much quicker in the pits? Let's have a look at the pit stop time. 2 seconds quicker. Guthrie was a lot quicker than McCluskey as well. So I think McCluskey has opted for more fuel. Well, let's see. Let's see what the rest of the race brings us. Because we have seen on quite a few tracks actually this season, Fuji being one of the more notable ones. And we did see it a little bit at Imola last time, where drivers were actually struggling to get to the end on fuel at Fuji. And maybe McCluskey's anticipating that. Now, with the cold tyres he's got, Guthrie has got 1 lap older tyres. He's through. McCluskey's not able to hang on to it. Guthrie has got far better grip with pitting earlier. But they are still 5.5 seconds down from Dominik Pester. Pester does have the lap 1 instant in question. But that all gets dealt with after the race by a team of stewards here at NXTGEN Racing. Now, let's rejoin the bronze category, as that's been shaken up quite a bit. Matt Gatter now leads. And Oliver Forsström has joined the question of fighting for the victory in this. Jonathan Berry a bit further behind. Very good, Steph. Yeah, thank you, Steph. That's a very good point, actually. So potentially tyres changed for McCluskey, and maybe not for Pester and Guthrie. Thank you for pointing that out, actually. I hadn't really realised that as part of it. Yeah, Zara McGuinness, as we mentioned, had the slow stop, did go into the wrong pit stall. But her and Jonathan Berry have lost a lot of time in this bronze category here. Matt Gatter leads the race. Gatter has not won in the bronze category, but has got the championship leader hunting him. Kruger resumes as leader still in the silver category, and actually Brandon Vincent-Squibb has lost a few places. But it might be more scenarios where drivers are changing tyres in the pits, where normally they wouldn't. Normally they wouldn't bother in these shorter races, particularly in the official races in IMSA. You never really take tyres in those races, but in this one, might be different with it being so intense. Guthrie and McCluskey still close together. Just below 4 seconds behind Pester. A bit quicker than Pester on that last lap as well. But this is the point in the race where there's going to be a lot of lap traffic to deal with for these Gold drivers. That could be the making or breaking, really, of the races here. Particularly at Thruxton, where it is so difficult to overtake and get off the racing line. Get off the racing line to overtake. This is William Guthrie and Benjamin McCluskey trying to lap Jonathan Berry, who now gets off the racing line. Battle in silver category. Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Wojciech Kurp. Kurp fights it back. And they've also got Bartosz Makoda fighting with them as well. That's Stephen Fry at the tail of this battle as well. Into Noble they go, and Wojciech Kurp understeers a little bit just to guard the inside for the next corner. And Makoda around the outside. Here's Brandon Vincent-Squibb right up the rear of Wojciech Kurp. Through Church Corner, we've seen Squibb make this undercut out of this corner quite a lot. And has the inside potentially for the chicane. It was near 3 wide then. But Makoda wasn't able to get to the left side of Wojciech Kurp, who powers it around the outside of the chicane here. Bit of contact between the two, and having to back out of it there was Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Bit of a nudge in the rear from Stephen Fry there as well, who makes his way alongside fellow BMW driver Makoda. Through Allard they go. Makoda's back in front of Stephen Fry. Wojciech Kurp hangs on to 4th for the time being. Oh, and in bronze category, there we go. We got a swap of positions at the top of bronze category. And Jonathan Berry's going to make his way past Matt Gatter, who's... Oh dear, that's not a good sight for Matt Gatter. Facing the wrong way in the pit lane. And this race was actually going really well for Matt Gatter. Oh... For some reason, Matt Gatter went really slow out of the corner. I don't know if he was going to try and go into the pits there. Oh, no, I'm going the wrong way. No, you don't do that. Even in sim racing. Okay, moving on. Oliver Forsström now takes the lead in the race. Let's just switch back here, though. So we've got Stephen Fry against Wojciech Kurp. Oh, and had to go across the curb there. Did Stephen Fry? That might be a slowdown. May have got away with that. Brandon Vincent-Squibb back into 4th place there. But Oliver Forsström now our new leader in bronze category, and by 6 seconds ahead of Jonathan Berry. The championship leader. This is looking like a pretty good end to the night for him. The 2nd place in the sprint race was anything to go by as well. Jamie Dury is not too far from this fight for the top 3 here. He's actually been gaining on William Guthrie and Benjamin McCluskey in the last few laps. A lot of the flash of the lights here from the Gold drivers to signal to the back markers, I would like you out of my way, please. But this is the catch-22 that drivers getting lapped find themselves in. They're in battles for themselves. And that last lap, actually, Benji McCluskey and Guthrie slower than Pester. Jamie Dory's still quicker than all three of them. Jamie Dory on that last lap, whilst others are still completing it. Jamie Dory at the moment is the fastest man on the track. Fastest person on the track, shall I say. Absolutely flying out there in the Corvette. Silver category, however, is quite divvied up though. 9 seconds between Kruger and McDougall, and a further 12 seconds between McDougall and Nigel Stock. Nigel Stock himself has got a little bit of a battle on his hands. He's got Brandon Vincent-Squibb and Bartosz Makoda, who both were top 3 in the previous race. Approaching. Wojciech Kerb and Stephen Fry still battling it out here for 6th place. It's the fight for 3rd place in silvers. Car off the track there. Let's hope they rejoin safely. Just about. Here we go. This is the classic move that Vincent-Squibb seems to be going for. Hasn't quite worked it into Nigel Stock here, but might have a good run approaching the braking zone at Club Chicane. No, definitely not. This time around, anyway. Nigel Stock a lot slower through the chicane there. And Vincent-Squibb will line up a move here. Stock will go to guard the inside. Squibb round the outside. Much later on the brakes. Oh, goes a little bit off track. Might got away with that, but has to stamp on the brakes for the second corner. Stock still alongside here. But you know what? Squibb might be on the better line for the next corner here. Let's find out. Yep, he's through. And Makoda, oh, just about getting around the corner side by side there with those two. Brandon Vincent-Squibb is up to 3rd place. Oh, look at this big undercut there from Makoda on Stock. And through he goes into 4th place. Strong debut here for Makoda, actually. Stein Vaten's Race 1 winner in bronze category is looking to get up into 4th place. It might be a stretch to get up into the top 3 for Stein Vatens. One thing I would love to see right now, actually, is the percentage of tread remaining, I suppose, on the tyres of these drivers. I'm not able to find it out with the tools I've got. But I am interested to see if there was quite a low percentage on these on the left tyres for some of these drivers, and that's why some of them opted to just gamble it, or some opted to switch. Oh, spin there from a Ferrari. I think that was Sean Shute. Didn't disrupt these three. Must be said that Jamie Dory is definitely having one of his better races in the series. On his home track. He loves racing here at Thruxton. He loves marshalling here as well. And they're not actually getting that much closer to Dominik Pester. He is lapping around about the same lap times as these three. That last lap was a 1 minute 6.8 for Pester, and we'll see the other three pop out now. Slower, some by half a second. That's what I was saying earlier. This is the point in the race where lap traffic becomes a factor. It can make or break your race. Nice to get an onboard view here, and there's actually quite a bit more lifting than I thought there'd be. Going through Goodwood there for Jamie Dory. And it's because he's in the slipstream, it means there's less air hitting the car, therefore less grip. He's driving really, really well here, is Jamie Dory, keeping up with arguably two of the fastest drivers in the series. 20 minutes to go in this race. Final third of the race is on. And that last lap, these three were all quicker than Dominik Pester up the front. But there's not enough slivers being taken out of Dominik Pester here to get a slice of the cake. That is P1. We'll come back to this very shortly. Let's just check in on the bronze category. Oliver Forsström still leads. And it is a healthy 8-second lead to Jonathan Berry, who's got a healthy lead in that second place to Zara McGuinness in third place. In the silver category, a healthy lead here as well for Jeffrey Kruger, and then over Phil McDougall, and then him over Brandon Vincent-Squibb. So it's all divvied up a little bit. Closest battle for the higher positions is for P2 in gold. And the pit stops really did disrupt things, actually. Quite a slow and small and narrow pit stop, pit lane here at Thruxton. Ferociously flashing lights there, presumably to the back marker. Below 4 seconds between McCluskey and Pester now. Approaching another back marker here, I believe that's Jason Raff up ahead. He pulls over under the braking. Just going to check in on silver category here as Nigel Stock, being caught a little bit by teammates Stephen Fry and Wojciech Kurp. Now Alan McCain, we saw him spin earlier on. Is he still? Yeah, he is. He's still in 12th place. Oh, Oliver Forsström's in the pits here. Ah, okay, what's happened here? Now that relinquishes the lead. I wonder if Oliver Forsström hasn't put enough fuel in and knows at this point he hasn't got enough fuel. Let's just take a look. Might well be the case. Oh, I missed the stop to go with that as well. Yep, I think that was just a splash and dash for Oliver Forsström, and now loses out to Zara McGuinness, who's not far ahead. I mean, Forsström could probably fight it back, but this very much hands the win potential back to Jonathan Berry. And this, we might be seeing this later on, where drivers might have to get back into the pits to take on a little bit of extra fuel. I'm a little bit more convinced that McCluskey definitely took on more fuel. But we'll find out. I think we'll see drivers head back into the pits potentially. Stephen Fry makes his way past his teammate Nigel Stock. Quite a few back markers here ahead of 2, 3 and 4 in gold category here. They've divvied up a little bit, and they're actually down to just over 3 seconds between themselves and Dominik Pester, who's lost another half a second on that last lap, actually. There's Dominik Pester just up the road. 14 minutes to go in this race. The pressure is on. The incoming Benji McCluskey. I'm trying to think when the last time someone got the Grand Slam in gold category in this series. I do apologise, I can't quite remember. The Grand Slam being fastest laps and race wins. But whilst we talk about it, let's check on best laps in this race. Someone outside of the top 8 in the gold category. I'm not sure who it is, actually. Ben Altria has fastest lap, but I think not finishing the race won't go to him, whereas the silver category is Bartosz Makoda and Zara McGuinness in the bronze category, as we can see there. So McCluskey not on for a Grand Slam just yet. Might change though, because they've taken another half a second out of Dominik Pester. The tyres now beginning to struggle for Dominik Pester. As they are lurking in, they are gaining on him with the time seemingly rapidly gaining on Dominik Pester. That last lap, about quarter of a second quicker, were McCluskey and Guthrie. Jamie Dory seems to be dropping off a little bit, but still in a very, very good spot to potentially pick up one of his better results in the series that I've seen for a while anyway for Jamie Dory. On his home track as well, rather fitting for him. Meanwhile, in the bronze category, Oliver Forsström, after the splash and dash, getting back into action, will now try and contend for second place in this race. It's not the race win that he probably wants, but a repeat second place tonight will do well for his championship. I'm struggling to figure out really in bronze category who Oliver Forsström's rival is. Stein Vatens, I suppose, Sammy Araba, Zara McGuinness potentially. Oliver Forsström is running away with it a little bit in this bronze category, just picking up good, consistent results. You know what? It really is getting closer and closer, lap by lap, between McCluskey and Pester. And I do think at this point, especially as drivers might have extended the tyres and some might have opted for new tyres, the ones that extended their tyre stints are probably struggling at this point. I do think Dominik Pester is one of them. The tyres are probably screaming through Church and Goddard. And even Allard, the first corner. Even closer again. Half a second quicker by McCluskey on that last lap than Dominik Pester. I think we may well get a battle for the win before the race is out. Less than 10 minutes to go now. McCluskey has got Dominik Pester in his sights. The Grand Slam of fastest laps might not be on for McCluskey, but clean sweep of qualifying race 1 and race 2 is on for him. In bronze category still, we'll keep an eye on them. Forsström and McGuinness still battling. Forsström not that much closer, still has to just gain in. Oh, as they understeer a lot heading out of the chicane there. Let's just have a listen. Close margins now. Still 1.5 seconds between Pester and McCluskey. That last lap, quite close between them, but McCluskey might have had lap traffic to deal with. 8.5 minutes to go. That's the view ahead. Drivers up ahead to lap still for Dominik Pester. Tiny lift through Church. Very, very tiny lift though. And here's McCluskey now. Right, we're going to start comparing corners now. Below 1.5 seconds. Now, Pester has got a bit of slipstream ahead, which won't help. No lift to Alla. Well, actually did go a little bit wide there. That would have held him up a little bit just then. Past the back marker he goes. That was Paul Williams, I believe, who was passing then. Frantically flashing his lights, here's Dominik Pester to signal to the drivers to get out the way, let them battle. That was Nigel Stott getting out the way then. Ooh, it bunches up in front of Ben McCluskey here, this won't help. Oh, and he has to hesitate a little bit and he goes down the middle of them, but that would have slowed him down a little bit. Yep, it goes out to over a second gap now. That puts it back in the favour of Dominik Pester, but there is still, I know I keep alluding to it, but there is still the incident on lap 1 that's going to be hanging over Dominik Pester a bit. And that might just strip the win from him. I'm not too sure. Maybe, don't know. Back below 2 seconds. Although it just creeps up a little bit. 6 minutes to go in this race. Around about 6 laps to go, essentially. I would say the rapid gain that McCluskey was having over the last 10 minutes is not quite happening now. 107.1, 107.4. But McCluskey did have the traffic to deal with a lap ago. But I would say it's been a superb night from McCluskey and Guthrie. Actually, both of them have been the standouts in the field today in terms of pace. I think a shout out should go out to Ben Altry as well. He was looking quick tonight as well. Aston Martin not behaving, it seems, for him, but he was looking real quick and holds the fast lap here in this race. It just shows how much pace Ben had. This is Wojciech Kurp, they're making their way past now in the silver category. Back up to over 2 seconds, less than 5 minutes to go in this race. Back into the 1.6s for both these drivers, all three of these drivers. And Jamie Dory not too far behind this either. Oh, I think McCluskey had to miss the apex a little bit there. Heading through Seagrave. He's edging up towards 2.5 seconds. And I think Dominik Pester has unlocked something in this last 10 minutes or so, last 5 minutes or so. Into final chicane, 2.5 seconds. I'd say at this point it's looking pretty good for Dominik Pester to take the win in this race. Less than 3.5 minutes to go. Quicker lap that time around. The traffic was a bit kinder to Pester than it was McCluskey and Guthrie. Still battling. Oh, hang on a minute. It has swapped between Forsström and McGuinness. Here's how it happened. Actually, Oliver Forsström's quite a way back from Zara McGuinness, who pulls over to the right here. Might that be a slowdown? Maybe a slowdown penalty for Zara McGuinness. Will relinquish second place in this race. But also, we have got a battle for second place on. And Ben McCluskey has actually closed in quite a bit on Dominik Pester in the gold category. But we've got this battle also to keep an eye on. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, the winner of race 1 in silver category, looking for P2 in this race. And that last lap, Pester was a second slower than Ben McCluskey. Might have been traffic, but McDougall guards the inside from Brandon Vincent-Squibb. Now, if I was Brandon Vincent-Squibb at this point, I wouldn't risk too much. But if the move is on, go for it. Oh, that looked a little bit hairy heading towards the pit wall there. Over a minute to go. Dominik Pester will now be starting his final lap. And might well do this unless anything happens on this lap. It looks like he's got a relatively clean track ahead of him. Yeah, he does. Nice exit there from Vincent-Squibb. We'll check back in with the gold category just after this. There we go. McDougall hangs onto it going into club chicane. We must switch out to our incoming winner of gold category. Dominik Pester back on the top step of the podium. An instant in question on lap 1, but on the road, he'll take the win. Or does he? Was that actually the signal for the last lap? I think it might have been a signal for last lap. Yes, it was. It was. Yep, we're on our last lap now. So there's another one he's got to do here. And McCluskey gets another chance, but he's quite a distance away. Valiant effort, it's got to be said, from McCluskey and Guthrie to try and close in. These two still going at it for P2 in silver. So we'll try second time now. Dominik Pester comes through club for the final time now. And he hangs on. And he takes another win in the series in gold category. Ben McCluskey, second place. A strong night for him. And William Guthrie in third position. Now, Phil McDougall, well, has stayed in front of Brandon Vincent-Squibb, and he's lost out to Bartosz Makoda here, who sneaks onto the podium place here. We are going to have to switch, though, to Jeffrey Kruger, as he's about to come through as silver category winner, and in dominant fashion as well. 19 seconds clear of everyone else in category. The defending champion in silver category has got 2 wins this season now in silver category. Phil McDougall hangs on to second place, but it's shook up a little bit as Brandon Vincent-Squibb has lost more than a few positions here. There we go, Phil McDougall comes through second place, and a strong debut tonight, it's got to be said, for Bartosz Makoda. 2 podiums. Stephen Fry comes through in fourth place, and out of fuel is Brandon Vincent-Squibb. You can hear the engine not running, but I think he'll have enough momentum to get to the line. Now, we didn't see him come across the line, but Jonathan Berry will take another win in the bronze category. I believe that's win number 3 of the season for Jonathan Berry. And Oliver Forsström, second place, and Zara McGuinness third. And a couple of drivers actually running out of fuel on their on their cool-down lap. So let's go to the provisional results of this race, and we'll start with the gold category. Dominik Pester taking the win in gold category in this race, with Benji McCluskey just over a second behind, but a strong night for him, it's got to be said. William Guthrie, third position, a good double podium for him tonight, and Jamie Dory, one of his better results of the series for quite a long time, actually. Brandon Schmidt in 5th position from Gaz Williams. Harry Langford in 7th position from Ben Bennyworth. Carl Griffiths 9th from Jack Pittas. Sean Shute and others are DNFs, including himself, Adam Wilson-Weir, Ben Altrier and Gavin Gardner. Silver category now, and it is a win for Jeffrey Kruger again. Won the sprint race last time out at Imola and wins the feature race tonight. Phil McDougall in second place, hanging on ahead of Bartosz Makoda with some valiant defending. And Brandon Vincent-Squibb in 5th. And don't forget Stephen Fry in 4th place. And a lap or more down were Wojciech Kerp, Nigel Stock, Matthew Cheverton, Matthew Addy, Alan McCain, Paul Williams, Jason Raff, and non-finishers were George Stone, Wesley Lewin, Matthias Smolny and Mike Reedner. Bronze category, another win this season for Jonathan Berry, and 3 seconds ahead of championship leader Oliver Forsström. Zara McGuinness, another podium for her, and following on from those positions are Jochen Seeger, Robert Savage, Stephen de Gravelia, Davide Favo, Stein Vaten, Sammy Araba, Mark Sykes and Matt Gatter. And we saw Matt Gatter struggling with the pit lane about the halfway point. But non-finishers were Fabian Kozielek, Dirk Wagner and Elwyn Sykes. So, I would say it was a race that actually stood up relatively similar to the other races. I suppose the other factor that we had in this race that we probably don't get as much in the other rounds is tyre wear on one specific side of the car, considerably more. And this is a replay of that lap 1 instance. And that'll be the talking point for the stewards, as it involved the race winner there. But we will move on, and we will move on to some interviews. Well, we haven't got anyone waiting at the moment. But we will eventually, hopefully, get some. While we're waiting now, we do have an update on the points, actually. So we'll do that first and foremost. So we'll start with the gold category. Here we go. With drop rounds applied and this round gone, it is the halfway point. We do have drop rounds and they will continue to refresh as the season goes on. But top of the championship, but only a 17-point lead. I'd say it's moderately comfortable, but not entirely comfortable. Dominik Pester, top of the table from Benji McCluskey, who has his best scoring round of the season. Harry Langford in third position. Strong position for him. And Stefan Vessels, who unfortunately missed tonight. This will be his drop round, but he has the bad round of Fuji to go with his scoring rounds, which means he's on the back foot as we head into the second half of the season. Jack Pittas in fifth position with Brandon Schmidt, who has missed approximately half of the season, but still sits sixth. Brilliant performance from him, considering. Gaz Williams in 7th position from Carl Griffiths in 8th. Jamie Dory, with his best result of the season tonight, is 9th after tonight. And Lucas Seedorf, who missed tonight, this will be his drop round, he's 10th. Silver category, Brandon Vincent-Squibb will lead the championship out of tonight by 50 points. That is more than a round's worth of points in the sprint and feature races and is the equivalent of a win in the endurance round. So he's got a nice healthy lead heading out of tonight and into the second half of the season. Nigel Stock now takes second place in the championship with drop rounds now applied. But he's just 1 point ahead of Phil McDougall and a further 1 point ahead of his Nigel Stock, his teammate Alan McCain. So second place, the battle is on for them. Stephen Fry in fifth position on 97 points. Not too far behind that battle for second, actually. So he could well rejoin that. Could join that battle with some good points scored tonight. Matthew Smolny, 6th position from Jason Raff, Wojciech Kerp, Jeffrey Kruger, who has missed and not scored many points in some rounds this season. But we'll see if he can climb up to try and defend his silver category title. And Matthew Cheverton rounding off the top 10. Bronze category, Oliver Forsström with a very healthy lead in bronze category heading out of tonight. Strong performance for him as well. And that is a very healthy gap of 25 points to Stein Vatens in second place, who picked up his first win of the season in the sprint race. Zara McGuinness up to third position, just 2 points ahead of teammate Rob Savage. And Sammy Araba in fifth position from Stephen de Gravelia, who could well join that battle for third place, only 7 points down from third place. Jonathan Berry has missed a few rounds and didn't score many points in Red Bull Ring. That's very much damaging his championship chances. But 7th place for him with Davide Favo in 8th, Mark Sykes 9th, and Elwyn Sykes 10th. And the team's championship, Quatermass continue to lead. And they have a 24-point lead, which is not comfortable, but it's quite a good margin actually over Mission R team in second place, who are just 1 point ahead of Sorrento Motorsports. CSA Team Wozer in 4th position, and Mission R powered by Maud in 5th. So that's the championship situation heading out of tonight. Now, we do have an interview waiting for us. And it is going to be with our feature race winner in the bronze category. We're going to chat to Jonathan Berry now. So, John, welcome back to the comms booth, mate. Feature race win for you tonight. Multiple race wins this season. Championship not quite on the cards here, but I'd say you're still having some pretty good races out there, tonight being one of them.
I'm going to still continue to try and, claw back what's left of it and do my best to. I'm 60 points behind and there's still a couple of long races to go. So you never know, something might happen and tables might get turned and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, you can still go for it, you can still pick up some good results here and there, but also in the team's championship as well. The team's doing quite well there as well. So is there a little bit of shifting focus towards that? Well, maybe not more so, but as much?
No, I think we're just racing. And I think we're just trying to make it for every week at the minute. You know, there's some other drivers in here that have found some unbelievable speed, you know, in the space of weeks, and we're trying to combat that by putting in more testing and, you know, just focus on the race every week. We're not, if we score the points as a team, I think, you know, that comes as a secondary. We would like to win the drivers and see who can get there.
And speaking of Drivers' Championship, then let's go back to talk about that. At this point, with you sitting, can't quite remember where it was now.
I think I'm
7th. There we go. Thank you. What is the target now? What do you think is the position that you want to go for at this point, given that you're quite far down from first? Is it still first you're going to go for, or is it the position you're going to set your sights on now?
I feel like I deserve a first after last season. You know, I think for me it was on the cards at the beginning of the season. That's ultimately what I wanted. As viewers well know, it didn't go very well to plan for me in the first couple of races. But, you know, we're going to come back strong and see if I can claw back a good finish. I don't know where I'm going to finish. I'm just going to do my best and hopefully end up at the top step of the podium if I can do that. So.
That's the spirit. Now, next time out, we're going into the second half of the season. We're heading to Daytona next. A track I don't think you've raced on in Next Gen yet, but that's up next. It's an endurance round. How are you feeling about that?
I feel all right. The last time I raced Daytona, I was in an AMG in a different league, and that didn't go to plan. So I'm hoping for a redemption round with Next Gen, and hopefully I can put some points on the board this time around. So we'll see what happens there. I feel quite confident. I'm pretty good there. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Good stuff. Okay, so that's coming up next. Just tell us a little bit how things are going in the Mission R camp, because I think you've maintained Mission R as a whole. I know you've got a lot of drivers and a lot of teams, but I think you've maintained 100% podium record this season in the team, albeit across multiple teams, as I mentioned. But how are things in camp at the moment?
Yeah, spirits are high. You know, the fact that we're winning and we're on the podium every week is, you know, it's really positive. It's building spirits, and it's making others who aren't there want to be there. So, you know, we've had multiple drivers, myself, Rob, Sammy, Adam, Brandon, Mateus. You know, we've had drivers across the board finish on a podium, and you know, we're getting new ones join us regularly, and they're seeing these podiums and they want to be a part of it too. So we're building a really, really good platform for people to come in and, you know, develop their skills and, you know, end up like a lot of us, which is on the podium, which is fantastic. You know, these 2 sessions a week, practicing for 2 hours is really paying off, and, you know, it's going to be fantastic when we see these other drivers start to come through as well.
Fantastic. That's a great sim racing spirit there. I love that. Anybody you want to give a shout out to on the broadcast, John, that might be watching tonight?
Yeah, Maud's, you know, sponsors, Maud's, Capture, and everyone else that's on board with us. Shout out to Andy, who's one of our new drivers, who's watching the stream currently. Hopefully he'll be on a grid in the coming seasons. So yeah, we'll endeavour to find you some more drivers to commentate on.
Fantastic. Love that.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you everybody for a good race tonight.
Excellent stuff, John. Well done on your 3rd win of the season. We'll see you next time at Daytona.
Thank you. Have a good night.
There we go. So 2 sprint race wins for Jonathan Berry and a feature race win. But everything outside of those wins, the results just haven't quite been there, and that's what John's quite missing out on, unfortunately. He'll feel that. I actually had him down at the start of the season as the favourite to win the bronze category this season, and my money is going. But he's still driving superbly well this season, it's got to be said. Okay, so I don't think we've got any other interviews, so I think we are just going to wrap it up there, because it is getting on a little bit. But yeah, no other interviews, unfortunately. Let's just go back over the race results just to remind us all of what happened in that feature race just then. So we'll start with the gold category. Dominik Pester takes the win in front of Benji McCluskey, who was closing in throughout the second half of that race. The second place for him, just ahead of William Guthrie, who picked up 2 podiums tonight. Jamie Dory, one of his better results of the season, 4th position from Brandon Schmidt in 5th and Gaz Williams in 6th. Harry Langford 7th from Ben Bennyworth, Carl Griffiths, and rounding off the top 10 is Jack Pittas. Silver category. Jeffrey Kruger takes another win in category, and some are already calling for him to move over to gold category again. Cheeky. The second place, Phil McDougall, just ahead of Bartosz Makoda, who had a strong debut tonight. 2 podiums for him. Stephen Fry, 4th place, another good result for him. Still missing a podium finish, I believe, in category, but it's coming. He's getting closer and closer. Brandon Vincent-Squibb, who did run out of fuel towards the end there, still came through in 5th place and with the finish. And Wojciech Kurp, Nigel Stock, Matthew Cheverton, Matthew Addy and Alan Kane round off the top 10. Bronze category, Jonathan Berry, 3rd win of the season, and finishing just 3 seconds ahead of a championship leader in bronze category, Oliver Forsström. Zara McGuinness in 3rd position, another podium for her this season. And rounding off the top 10 will be Jochen Seeger, Rob Savage, Stephen de Gravelia, Davide Favo, Stein Vatens, Sammy Araba and Mark Sykes. And a reminder of the championship situation heading out of tonight and into Daytona next week. Dominik Pester leads the championship by 17 points from Benji McCluskey. He's back in the hunt. Let's see how he gets on for the remainder of the season. All of them, to be fair. And into that championship fight goes Harry Langford. Now the drop round is in place. And in 4th place, Stefan Vessels. Can he claw it back to defend his championship? Silver category. Brandon Vincent-Squibb leading the championship by 50 points after drop rounds applied. So a very, very healthy lead. It realistically means if he DNFs from the next race, he might still be leading the championship heading into the following round. I'm sure he wouldn't want to do that, but that is a healthy position to be in the championship. 50-point lead over Nigel Stock, and the battle for 2nd place, maybe in as far as 5th place. But Nigel Stock leads in that battle for 2nd place. Phil McDougall 1 point behind in 3rd, and 1 point behind him is Alan McKay in 4th place. Stephen Fry 5th place, rounding off that top 5. Bronze category, Oliver Forsström leads the championship by some amount of points. My brain can't maths right now. 25 points. There we go. 25 points from Stein Vatens. And Zara McGuinness into 3rd place. But that battle for 3rd place is very much between Zara McGuinness, Rob Savage, Sammy Araba and Stephen de Gravelia. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to wrap up the racing tonight. This has been the GT3's Season 8 by NXTGEN Racing. Let's give a big shout out to our partner sponsors and affiliates that include PowerMax Racing, Mark Sykes Designs, Benji Sim Photos, Motorsport UK Esports, Sam Cases, Moser Racing, Joyce Design, Falconer PC and Doble Motorcycles. If you want to get involved in this series in the future series or even future rounds here, or even other series including the NXTCC hosted here at NXTGEN Racing, you can scan the QR code to the off center of our screen there. That'll give you access to our Discord server. If the QR code doesn't work for you, or if you don't have access to scan it, there is a link in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching tonight, ladies and gentlemen. This has been NXTGEN Racing on YouTube and Facebook. I've been Alex Everett, your commentator tonight. We'll see you next week at Daytona for the 2nd of 3 endurance rounds of the championship. A 2-hour endurance awaits us in 1 week from today. Be sure to tune in for that. But for now, good night.
Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, that's all from us here at NXTGEN Racing, the home of clean and fair sim racing for all.